What if everything you believe about being a good person is a lie? What if science could prove that under the right conditions, you, me, any of us, could become heartless, obedient, or just plain indifferent? Sounds dark, right? But these aren't horror stories. They're real psychological experiments. Today, we're diving into 5 terrifying experiments that expose the truth about how fragile our morality really is. And trust me, by the end, you'll question what it really means to be human. So before we start, hit subscribe because you'll never look at the human mind the same way again. The Stanford Prison Experiment, 1971. Now we enter one of the darkest studies ever conducted, the Stanford Prison Experiment. Psychologist Philip Zimbardo wanted to test how people react to power and control. He built a fake prison in Stanford's basement and assigned volunteers randomly as either guards or prisoners. The result? Within just 48 hours, the guards began showing signs of real cruelty, shouting, humiliating, even depriving the prisoners of sleep and food. The prisoners in turn broke down emotionally, revolting or collapsing into tears. The simulation spiraled so fast it had to be shut down after only 6 days instead of 2 weeks. If you were given authority, no rules, no cameras, do you really know what kind of person you'd become? The Stanford Prison Experiment proves that context and power can turn ordinary people into tyrants. It's not that evil is rare, it's that opportunity and authority can create it. 3. The Bystander Effect, 1968. In 1964, New York City was rocked by the murder of a woman named Kitty Genovese. 38 people reportedly witnessed parts of the attack, but not one person intervened or called the police in time. Psychologists John Darley and Bibb Latané were horrified, so they recreated the situation under controlled conditions to find out why. In their study, volunteers joined what they thought was a group discussion over intercom. Halfway through, one of the voices on the line faked an epileptic seizure, cries for help, then silence. If participants thought they were alone, 85% rushed to get help. But if they believed there were 4 or 5 others listening, that number dropped to just 31%. The conclusion? The bigger the group, the smaller each person's sense of responsibility. Everyone assumes someone else will help, and as a result, no one does. Have you ever seen someone in trouble and thought, I should help, but didn't? Be honest. What stopped you? 4. The Good Samaritan Study, 1973. Next experiment is the Good Samaritan Experiment. This one took place at Princeton University, and it's a brutal reminder that even people training to be good can fail when it matters most. Psychologists asked seminary students, future priests and pastors, to give a short talk about the Good Samaritan, the biblical story about helping strangers. As they hurried to their speech, each student walked past a man slumped in a doorway, coughing and groaning, clearly needing help. Now you'd expect people about to give a sermon on kindness to stop, right? But here's the shocking truth. Only 10% stopped if they were told they were running late. It didn't matter what moral lesson they were about to preach. Being in a hurry made compassion vanish. Be honest. If you were late to a big presentation or interview, would you stop to help a stranger, or would you tell yourself someone else will do it? Last one, the Asch Conformity Experiment, 1953. This one is the most disturbing. Tests of human behavior, the Asch Conformity Experiment. Imagine this. You're sitting in a small classroom with 7 other people. You're told it's a vision test. Easy stuff. You just look at a few lines on a card and pick the one that matches. But here's the setup. Everyone else in the room is secretly part of the experiment. They all agree beforehand to pick the wrong answer. The first few questions? Normal. Everyone gets them right. You relax. Then suddenly everyone starts pointing to the clearly wrong line. And now it's your turn. Do you trust your eyes, or do you trust the group? Turns out 32% of people went along with the wrong group answer, even when they knew it was wrong. Some even convinced themselves they must be mistaken. What would you do? Would you stand your ground, or follow the crowd to avoid looking stupid? This experiment exposed something terrifying about humanity. We value fitting in more than being right. And if we'll betray our own perception just to blend in, imagine what else we'll sacrifice. Everyone, if you love this content, hit like button, and don't forget to show some love via subscribe our channel.